Hello and welcome everyone in this video tutorial for chapter structure of atom. Regarding structure of atom, we already had a discussion on few topics, that is charged particles in atom, Thomson's model, Rutherford's model, Bohr's model. Through these models, what we came to know is that there is something known as electrons, which is present inside the atom. Previously, because of Dalton theory, it was believed that atoms is the smallest particle. But because of their theories, we came to know or a conclusion that electrons are the smallest particles. There is something which is even smaller than atom. Okay, so after having a close discussions and suggestions and discoveries and a hell lot of things, we concluded that atoms are made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. Electrons, protons and neutrons. Yes, neutrons were discovered by Mr. J. Chadwick, and neutron do not have any charge on it. So it is very important for us to understand that because of these three particles, electrons, protons and neutrons, atoms are made. Atoms are made. And because of the, I should say, proportion in which they are available, one atom differs from another atom. In Dalton's theory, it was told that each atoms of each element is different from other. Atom of each element is different from other element. So how they were different and why they were different? At that time, at the time of Dalton, it was not aware. Human being was not aware that why they are having difference when they all are made up of atoms. But after a close discovery, after the discovery of electrons, protons and neutrons, we came to the conclusion that these are the electrons, protons and neutrons, because of which these are those particles which decide that what atom will behave like what. For example, sodium, and another I will take example of hydrogen and chlorine. Sodium is a metal. Sodium is a metal. It can give electron. It is always written as positive. So why sodium is metal? Why does it behave like this? It is because of the presence of these three particles inside it. That is the reason atom of sodium behave like that. Hydrogen is a non-metal, or I should say it's a gas, and this gas is having only one electron. Hydrogen have only one electron, and the property of hydrogen was discovered and was I should say understood only when we were aware about that protons and electrons and protons inside hydrogen, because hydrogen do not have neutrons. So property of hydrogen is different from all other elements. That is the sole case, that is the sole reason. If you look at the periodic table, being hydrogen a non-metal, it is placed inside metals. After those topics, the next topic which we have here is distribution of electrons. That how electrons are distributed in an atom. Previously I told you that property of an atom is dependent upon the electrons, protons and neutrons. Yes. And to be precise, what we have till now been able to understand, that the property is decided by the electrons. The number of electrons an atom have is the I should say the number of electrons an atom have concludes that what that atom will be. It will be a metal, it will be a non-metal, it will be a semiconductor, whatever it will be is decided or it's calculated on the property that electrons it has. There are a few exceptions also, but it's 99.9% accurate till today. We are still waiting for further studies, further research work that how things behave, because some questions there are yet to be answered. But up to your syllabus and up to the knowledge we have right now, this should be able to help you to understand that why a metal behaves like a metal and why a non-metal behaves like a non-metal. Okay. So when we are talking about distribution of electrons in Bohr sequence, when we were having I should say Bohr's model of atom, we had a discussion that he stated that all the electrons are arranged in an energy level. The name of those energy levels was given as K, L, M, N. Okay, it can go further also. K, L, M, N, Q, R, S, T, whatever name can be given. But the thing which we need to understand here is the sequence 1, 2, 3, 4. K is provided with number 1, L is dedicated number 2, M is dedicated with number 3, and N is provided with number 4. Okay, and if you want to increase, then the number will also go on increasing. So here you can ask a question, sir, why K only, why not A, B, C, D? That is something you can say, sir, why 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay, so he came with an idea and he started developing K11 sequence. So he gave those names. Oh, understood? But the formula which he used to arrange electrons in an atom, the formula he used to arrange electrons inside an atom is 2n to the power 2, 2n square. So when we replace 1, 2, 3, 4 in these in the place of n, what we receive here is 2 into 1 to the power 2, 2 into 2 to the power 2, 2 into 3 to the power 2, and so on. And what we will receive value is 2, 8, 18, and 32. Till now in your syllabus, it's up to 32. If you are able to remember only up to this, that will be very much better. Because this concept, when you will reach in 11th class and you will study chemistry, this concept will drastically change. Right now you are learning about K11, then you will come to know that K is further divided into S, then SP, then SPD, and SPDF. Okay, so things will get divided. Right now you don't need to understand. That is for the future. So right now you only have to focus on K11. Okay, so what he does, I should drag it down here because the values are already written. So taking an example of, first of all I will take an example of hydrogen. I draw a shell around. Now what he stated that in K, the maximum number of electrons which can be accumulated are 2. In L, maximum number of electrons which can be accumulated is 8. Similarly, M has 18 and N has 32. So hydrogen's atomic number is 1. Now, I have already told you in multiple previous lectures that there are 2 tables in your book. That is, one is on page number 37 and another is on page number 51. You have to learn these 2 tables. Okay, you have to learn these 2 tables like you cram those multiplication table, because these 2 tables are going to help you in complete chemistry in 9th as well as 10th. If you are able to remember these 2 tables, then your syllabus, chemistry syllabus, would be the least thing you would be worried about. 90% of the reactions are easy. You can easily understand those reactions if you are aware about the things what I am going to tell you now. If you are able to understand these things, valency and all the concept of valency and how they are metal or non-metal, how they are dealing with how their behavior, it's all on this concept. So watch it very carefully. Now when we are talking about hydrogen, the atomic number of hydrogen is 1. So atomic number of hydrogen is 1 means it has only 1 electron. It has only 1 electron. So how that 1 electron can be placed? 1 electron means out of 2 I just get it here. That's it. Now hydrogen, it's done. If I talk about after hydrogen, next I have is helium. Helium atomic number is 2. So it has 2 electrons. 1, 2, and hence its shell is filled. Now it will have no other place to be electrons to be placed. A child asked me a question. I don't remember the name of the child. That sir, why only these much electrons? Why it cannot accommodate more? Why it can't accommodate more? Why it has only these number of electrons inside the shell? Bohr gave an idea that shell is there. Inside shell, electrons can be placed, and this is the highest number it can be inside a shell. Why only these? Why it can't have 3, 4? Why it can't have 18 or something else? Why only this formula? The reason is in periodic table. I hope you have seen periodic table in 8th class. So or you can search it online. Periodic long form periodic table. You will find that last group, hydrogen, helium, these group is denoted for noble gases. This group is denoted for noble gases. All the noble gases, neon, you can say neon, argon, krypton, etc., etc. These are noble gases. They do not react. They are noble gases because they do not react with anything. And because they do not react with anything, so they must be having some property. So on a very close, I should say, study, we were able to understand that. Now, take an example of helium. Helium has 2 electrons in its outermost shell, and helium do not react with anything. Helium is a noble gas. So it was concluded that because helium, its outermost shell is completely filled, that is the reason it do not react. I will give you another example. If you are hungry, then only you will go for eating. You will eat something only when you are hungry, or you got tempted because of the, you can say, its smell or its design or color. Okay, there are millions of times you are not hungry, but you just have the smell of it, and you feel, oh, I should eat this, I should try this thing. Okay, but when you are full, we generally used to say, in those situations, can you eat something else? You were having party seasons, you were having marriage, big fat wedding season. You visited some persons. Obviously, शादी में हो जाते हैं to eat. Obviously, so you act, and after a long duration of you can say lockdown and everything, you went to someone's marriage and you ate up to here, and now someone came and asked, please have some rasgulla. Now will you be able to eat it? Though you have the temptation, whatever thing you love the most, still you won't be able to eat because you are completely full. Now you know your limit. If you eat something else, either it will come out or you will get a stomachache. Okay, so same situation is with the helium. The number of electrons it can have at a maximum is full. That is the reason it do not react with anything. Okay, but in terms of hydrogen reacts with multiple things. N number of things it can react, because it is having only 1 electron. So hydrogen can either take 1 electron or either can release 1 electron. And in maximum cases, what hydrogen do is, because it's only 1 electron They just attract or snatch its electron, and hence the hydrogen is left with +1 charge. So here I should tell you one thing. Whenever an element or you can say an atom lose electron, whenever an element lose electron, suppose this is X element, it gave electron or it lose electron, it will become positive. And when the same element can't do that, but in other situations, if the element is accepting electron, then it will become negative. When an element or an atom give electron or donate electron, or someone snatches its electron, it becomes positive. And when an electron accepts electron, it becomes negative. Okay, I will tell you how these things happen, but right now you should be able to understand this. Okay, similarly I will take the case of sodium. I told you in the case that sodium is a metal. So how does it behave like that, and why it does behave like that? When we are talking about sodium, atomic number of sodium is 11. Atomic number of sodium is 11. So, if I have to distribute it according to the sequence which I have told you, it should be 2, then 8, then 2. Sorry, 1. 2, 8, 1. Because that is the only way we can arrange all the electrons inside the sodium. Now, how do we do it? Sodium, first shell, second shell, third shell. Now, what we will do here is, in first, we will arrange 2. Now, because 2 is filled, we have to move to the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, a total of 10, 8 plus 2, 10. Only one is left, that is 1 electron. So, it will be in the outermost shell. Now, this last shell is the outermost shell, and this one is the innermost shell. It can be a situation that some atoms may not have, like for example, helium, outermost shell and innermost both are same. So it is not an issue between. Okay. So outermost, we only have to be worried about outermost shell. Okay, we have to be only worried about outermost shell. Now, for example, why I said that we have to be only worried about outermost shell? You have seen those kabaddi matches, pro kabaddi and all those things. The person who is at the last, the person who is not at the center, the person who is very near to the middle line or at the last moment, he is the only person who might get caught during the raid. Similarly, we are only worried here about the electrons who is at the last corner, because this is the only electron which will tell the behavior of the element, because it can be snatched, caught or whatever. Okay, so what will happen here is this electron, because if I talk about sodium, so when we are dealing with sodium, just before sodium we have neon. Okay, just before sodium we have neon. The atomic number of neon gas is 10, and neon is a noble gas. It do not react with anything. So what these elements try to do is, they try to achieve the noble gas behavior. They try to achieve the noble gas behavior. So in order to achieve the noble gas behavior, what they do is, they either give or take electrons. They either give or take electrons. I told you, they either give or take electrons. So why do they give and take electrons? Because they always wanted to reach the noble gas configuration. Noble gas configuration. Now, just a very quite small example. There are when we're talking about any business fraternity. So we say that we have Tatas, Birlas, and all these. They are extremely rich. They are extremely rich. So, being extremely rich, what happens is all those who are not so much rich, what they try, or other smaller businessmen, they all have a dream to become like that. They all have a dream to become like that. So, in order to be that, what they do is they either give money or they either purchase something, or they either take loan to purchase something. Both are different scenarios. In one situation, you are giving your own money to purchase something and make your property big. And in second situation, what you do is you take money from some bank or something, and then you utilize that money to purchase something. So both are different case situations. In first situation, the money is yours, and the place is some place you have purchased. And second situation, the money you have taken it from someone else. Okay, so all the things what you do, whatever business you do, is you try to become as rich as like they are. So they are the noble situation. They are at the noble situation. And so what happens here is all the elements, all the atoms in the periodic table, they try to achieve the noble gas situation. They want to be a noble gas situation. So in order to become a noble gas, this atom, what should it do? Either it should take other electrons. Now this is ALM. Okay, it should have 18 electrons. So either it should arrange somehow 17 other electrons to fulfill its needs, or it can simply remove this one electron. Because if this one electron is removed, then if I remove this shell, then only 10 electrons are left. And because 10 electrons means configuration of neon. 10 electrons means configuration of neon, a noble gas. Similarly, in terms of chlorine, what happens for chlorine is when we talk about chlorine's atomic number is 17. What happens if chlorine is 2? Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now last one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one position is extremely empty. This one position is extremely empty, and the maximum number of atoms a shell can have is nearly 8. Okay, so here it should either take electrons or it should give electrons. Now here it can't remove all these electrons. In case of chlorine, it can't remove all these electrons to become noble one. So what it does, it attracts electron from outside. It attracts electron from outside, and because of the attraction of the electrons, because the atoms were inside now, so what chlorine will become? Negative. What chlorine will become? Negative. It was not having any free electrons. It has taken an extra electron, so it will become negative. Similarly, sodium, because it is giving electron, it will become positive. Understood? So all those elements which can give electrons, are positive, and they are metals. All those elements which can give electrons become positive, and they are metals. All those elements which take electron, all those elements which take electron, they become negative. Hence, they all are non-metal. Okay, try this thing with this table on with every element on this table. That is on page number 51. Okay, it is already provided. Video is going on still. Good. So Try this thing with every element in this table, though it is already provided here, but still you have to try it. Still you have to design everything. Once you have done the designing and you have calculated its valency for each and every element, you will be able to understand how things are happening. So now, when we are talking about valency is simply so when we are dealing with valency simply means the electrons and atom. Valency simply means an electron that an atom can either take or give, or I should say the number of electrons an atom can either absorb or take or give to get the noble situation. So if you look at the table, the last column which you have here is valency. Okay, so it's like 1 0 1 2 3 4 again 3 2 1 0 again 1 2 3 except only for phosphorus, that is 3 and 5. Now why phosphorus is having 3 and or 5 valency? It's because of the complete electronic configuration of phosphorus. Okay, so I can't explain right now S, P, D, F situation which you will study in higher studies or higher classes. So but right now you just need to remember that it has 3 or 5. Understood? Rest it will remain the same. You can try it by yourself. So what happens in terms of hydrogen, then helium, all those which are showing 0, they are noble gases. Okay, and rest things will happen automatically. 1 2 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus. Okay, and when we are talking about 4, there is a special in 10th class. There is a special chapter dedicated for this 4. Yes, for carbon. Carbon is having a valency of 4, and because of that valency of 4, it doesn't either give or take electrons. It is at the half point. It can't even take or it can't even give. It is at the half point. That is the reason it starts sharing of electrons. That is the reason we in 10th class we get a dedicated chapter for carbon and compounds to study about the concept of carbon and how behavior and everything. Okay, so right now we are not dealing with that thing. So when we are dealing with the 3 to 1, so it will be minus 3 to minus and minus 1. Okay, so you only have to remember that you will not by heart this column. You will check the electronic configuration. You will write the electronic configuration of each and every element, and then you will decide what valency it should have. You don't need to remember this. When you were studying table on page number 51, you saw everyone is either having plus, minus, or 2 plus or 2 minus. It was all behind decided. It was all created because of this sequence. Okay, so you have to write the electronic configuration for each and every element, and once you are done with the electronic configuration, you will be able to understand by yourself that how this thing got created and why something is showing positive or why something is showing negative. Okay, so after this, the next topic which we have here is atomic number and mass number. This thing, atomic number and mass number, I think I have already explained this thing. Atomic number and mass number. Okay, that is suppose an element X is here, then here you will write mass number, and here you will write atomic number. I think this is already explained by me in a video for the previous chapter. Okay, so this is the same thing which is being explained here once again. So the topic which you should be concerned about right now is isotopes and isobars. So at the time of calculation of atomic masses, I have already explained simply like you will place if there is a lever, you will balance. If there is a balance, you will first place the element x which you want to calculate, and then you will start releasing atoms of hydrogen. You will take a stack of hydrogen, then whatever is count of hydrogen, that will be the mass of that thing. So this was the way how things are used. Just say when you purchase vegetable, you keep a fixed mass and you started adding things to it. So you get, when the moment you get the balance, you are able to that now this is 1 kg. Similarly, what you did is like if I place sodium here, then I will have to keep at least 11 atoms of hydrogen. That's only they will be balanced. So it was concluded by that way. But soon enough, they came to know that we can't say hydrogen is having only one atom. Oh, sorry, one electron. Because there was a problem with hydrogen, that hydrogen have isotopes. So now what is the meaning of isotopes is atomic number remains same, but atomic mass vary. In terms of isotopes, atomic number remains the same. Atomic number doesn't change, but atomic mass vary. Atomic mass changes. So at the bottom, what we should be writing? At the bottom, we should be writing. Okay, and at the top, we will be writing its mass. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So this thing happened. Sorry for interruption. So what happened is, in terms of isotopes, atomic number remains the same and atomic mass vary. So what is the way of writing it here? That is hydrogen. I have written 3 hydrogen. Their atomic numbers, and this is the place where we should be writing atomic masses. So you can see 1, 2, and 3. So when we are calculating the atomic mass of for some element, how would we know that if we are writing 2 or 3, that it will make a difference for it? The system will not be proper. That is the reason we got a very new system, and we were able to discover multiple things under the term of isotopes. There are multiple, even carbon. Carbon is having also 2 isotopes, C12 and C14. Okay, the atomic number remains the same, that is 6. Chlorine also, and there are a lot of atoms. There are a lot of atoms which have the same phenomena, right? Their atomic number remains the same, but their masses are variable. Okay, so that is the concept of isotopes. Now, in terms of isobars, this concept changes. Now, what will happen is mass will remain the same. In terms of isobars, mass is same. It doesn't vary, but atomic number changes. In terms of isobars, mass remains the same, but atomic number changes. Then it is not for the single element. For example, an example is given inside the book. Calcium atom, atomic number 20, and argon, atomic number 18. They both are having same masses, that is 40. Okay, it can be for different elements. So that is the way how things are.